Hello and welcome to another episode of Beside the Fire with Alexander and Sime.
I'm Sime.
And I'm Alexander. And this is the show where we take an in-depth look at some of the most interesting people from around the country, and a little bit about the journey that led them to become who they are today. This is Ben Ruttenburg. Welcome, Ben. Don't spill on my computer. Long story short, Sime and I, on our way to Tokyo for summer vacation. We both got a little bit of time off from the university. We have not been able to make it to Tokyo, if you haven't noticed. And we thought, let's divide and conquer. Maybe if we split up, it would increase our odds. And apparently it did for Sime. Which makes me wonder... Sime made it to Tokyo. I am dyslexic, alright? It's not my fault. But it's
not your fault.
It's the truth. And so, instead of going to Tokyo, Japan, I purchased a round-trip ticket to Tokyo, California. You obviously can see my error there. It's a very simple error, okay? It's not a big deal, but I'm in California now. And I met this fantastic gentleman, Mr. Ben Ruttenburg, a.k.a. the Raw Dog, at a pub, which is right across the parking lot from the motel I'm staying at here in Tokyo, California. We got to chatting. Fascinating man. He has an entire career based on adversive stunt evaluation.
Oh, man! Thanks for having me.
Pleasure.
Like we were talking about last night at the pub, it starts it starts at a young age. One of those things that you're just drawn to, like down a tunnel, and there's just one way to go, and you bite all the nails off your fingers, you eat all the boogers from each nostril, and they tell you to stop. Mom tells you, don't eat your boogers.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Yes, gross.
Sure, but look at me now.
Yeah, good point.
Tell me it's gross now.
Yeah, no, it's still gross, but you've developed a career off of it.
It's still gross,
yeah.
But you get where I'm coming from.
Ben, were you just known for just eating anything or just putting anything in your mouth?
Anything I could fit in it, and as I've gotten older and I've grown more, my orifices have also grown with the rest of my body, and therefore I have been able to fit even more into my mouth.
I noticed that you actually, it almost looks like you're calloused on the edge of your mouth.
Here,
Oh.
here,
Oh.
and here.
Yeah. Can you come closer to the screen?
Yeah.
I would like
Yeah.
to see.
I like the studio.
Take it away, Alex. Take it away. Too close.
It's intense.
Honestly, I
It's
almost
intense.
ate that computer.
Yeah, thank you for not doing that. I've heard that you get in such a zone on set that sometimes they actually have to restrain you to get you to stop eating anything you can get your hands on.
Well, once you get me started, it's it's what they say about cannibals, and that idea that once you taste blood, that you have this unquenchable hunger for it.
I heard one time that they actually had live bulls on set for a physical stunt, a challenge where they had to run with the bulls. And after you consumed all the insects and all of the bile and other disgusting things, you actually went after a live bull with no weapon to try to rip its genitals off and eat it.
That was a miscommunication on the producer's end. He said, go for it with the bull. And, looking back on it, it was obvious that he wanted me to, lasso it. He wanted me to restrain it as a part of the physical stunt. But my mind and my stomach, they had something else in mind.
Yeah, what would Buddha say?
Well, I've heard a lot, and being in Tokyo, I've heard a lot about Buddha and sort of some Shinto stuff. And yeah, they would say, they say that you don't step in the same river twice. I feel like that's applicable.
Sure. I want to really quickly touch upon your book. Title, are you going to finish that? Eating My Fear. Great title.
Great title.
And then also your advice to young children who would... Are you chewing something, sir? What was in your glass? What was in there?
It's not important what was in there.
It looked like it was moving. In your mouth. Something
Sure.
was moving in your mouth.
I don't want to know what it was. I really don't want to know.
I'm very excited to read it. You sent over a copy. We just, with the traveling and the not knowing where we were, I haven't gotten to it yet. But I tell you what, man, I am excited for my flight back to New York to read that thing.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to it yet. That's what most people in my business who can't hack it say when they're face to face with a feces-covered rodent.
And yet you're okay with that.
And I say, are you going to finish that? And they say, I haven't gotten to it yet. You know what I do at that moment? I say, pass it on over.
Oh, wow.
I'm not afraid. And that's what the book's about. That's the foreword, actually.
That is the whole forward.
That's the entire foreword.
Wow.
I didn't write it, though. I had Bill Clinton write it for me.
Oh, the forward?
Yeah.
Bill Clinton?
Yeah.
He's a personal friend of yours?
Yeah. And he was kind enough to write that forward that I was just able to quote verbatim.
I hate to do this, but my masseuse is here. They're very. Hi, arigato. I have to run. It was a pleasure meeting you. I have a sick feeling in my stomach, but I'm sure that will pass. So yeah, I gotta go.
Yes, that's normal. Oh. That was...
Tell me really quickly, what do you say to young children who want to do what you do?
I first tell them, if a problem comes along, just eat it. And when they absorb that, as soon as they absorb it, I strike the Adam's apple.
You hit children?
Here.
You'd strike children in the throat?
There.
Why?
And I say to them, when they're on the ground holding themselves, that's what it's like to choke on a bike gear.
Oh no, we're not.
We're not brothers.